Yes, sir.
So you can see the screen and you can hear me well, right?
Yes, sir.
So I welcome all of you to the class of chemistry on the date 12 February 2021. Let us study about the isomerism in little more detail. In the last period, my dear students, we have studied about the cis and trans isomers. We are aware that there is a restriction of rotation around the double bond. Due to the restriction of rotation around the double bond or double bonded carbon, there are two types of geometry possible around the double bond. You can see it, my dear students, via this. Let me explain it to you. Uh, My dear students, we are very well aware that if there is a C double bond C, and if we have the various groups available, suppose this is A and this is B, and here we have B and A, and if we allow this kind of rotation, then this A and B can be converted to this kind of structures. So you can easily understand that this trans isomer can be easily converted to cis if rotation is allowed. If rotation is allowed. But my dear students, we are very well aware that rotation around C double bond C or where there is pi bond is restricted. And as it is restricted, my dear students, we can easily understand that the rotation does not get possible and we get cis and trans isomers when we have the double bond around us. So that is what I am trying to explain you, my dear student, that the rotation around the double bond is not possible and that is why we can get two type of geometry that we can study. Let us study about it in detail. Number one kind of geometry in which the identical atoms or groups are on same side of the double bond, and another is identical atoms or groups are on the opposite side of the double bond. So this is what it happens. Such two different arrangements in the space is called stereoisomerism. So my dear students, whenever there is a two different types of arrangement that got possible because of the arrangement of the atoms or group of atoms in a space, or we can say three dimension, and we get various types of isomers. That kind of isomers are known as the stereoisomers. In alkenes, where identical groups are present on the carbon, which are doubly bonded, two different arrangement in the space around the double bond is possible, which is known as the geometrical isomerism. So stereoisomerism is of two type, my dear student. One is geometrical isomerism, another is optical isomerism. That is what we have studied. Let me show you once again that we have the the stereo isomerism, my dear students. Stereo isomerism, and we have seen that the stereo isomerism is of two type. One is known as the geometrical isomerism, whereas another one is known as the optical isomerism. So let us study about the geometrical isomerism a little more, my dear students. Let's move forward. So what is geometrical isomerism? If you are asked, you can say that in alkenes where identical groups are present on the carbons which are doubly bonded, two different arrangement in the space around the double bond is possible, which is known as the geometrical isomerism. Now, my dear students, if you are asked in the exam, what is cis isomer? So the answer is geometrical isomerism or geometrical isomer in which two identical atoms, let us put geometrical isomers, Geometrical isomers in which two identical atoms or group of atoms lie on the same side of the double bond is called cis isomer. Then what is trans isomer? Geometrical isomer in which two identical atoms or group of atoms lie on the opposite side of the double bond is called trans isomers. So thus, my dear students, we have cis isomers and trans isomers. Let us study these cis isomers and trans isomers with the example of cis-2-butene and trans-2-butene. In butene, my dear students, when both the CH3 group and both the hydrogen are on the same side of the double bond, we can say that this is the cis-2-butene. And when this CH3 group and H and H atoms are at the opposite side of the double bond, we can say it is the trans-2-butene. So here, my dear students, we can see the examples of cis-2-butene and trans-2-butene. Now, my dear students, you can see that with the red pen, I have shown you some of the sign. Let me explain these signs to you. This signs actually represents the dipole moment. That is what we have studied. This dipole moment is studied into the dBA units. You can see that the dipole moment is between the carbons C and CH3 bond, and here you can see that both the dipole moment make some angles. So here some angle is being made between the both the dipole moments. But here if you look at in trans, they are just making the angles of approximately 180 degree. Or you can say that they are exactly opposite to each other. So two dipoles which are exactly opposite to each other, which cancels out each other, and that is why you can see that the overall dipole moment mu is equal to 0 for trans to butene, but for cis to butene the overall dipole moment mu is equal to 0.33 d bar. So on the basis of that, my dear students, we can easily generalize the statement that trans to butene is non-polar because it does not show any kind of polarity and mu is equal to 0. Whereas cis to butene is polar and it shows some kind of polarity. So now let us understand the next question and answer this. Give reason why cis isomer has high dipole moment as compared to the trans isomer, or my dear students, why trans to butene is non-polar. So let us understand about it, my dear students, that from the geometries of the two isomers which you can see in this figure shown above, it is clear that in trans to butene, CH3 group present on opposite side of the C double bond C cancels the dipole of CCH3 bond present in the opposite direction. Thus, total dipole is mu is equal to 0. But in cis to butene, my dear students, CCH3 bond dipole does not cancel out each other, and finally dipole moment mu is equal to 0.33 d. Thus, my dear students, we can say that cis to butene has high dipole moment, or cis to butene is more polar than trans to butene, or my dear students, we can simply say that trans to butene is non-polar because mu is equal to 0 for trans to butene. So this is how, my dear students, we understand the cis and trans isomerism. Now let us understand, or if you are asked in the exam, write the difference between cis isomer and trans isomer. So what will you write for the difference of cis isomer and trans isomers? Let's have a look to it. Number one, in cis isomer, identical groups or atoms lie on the same side of the double bond, whereas in trans isomers, identical groups or atoms lies on the opposite side of the double bond. Second, in cis isomer, there is more steric hindrance because same type of bulky groups are available near to each other. And there you will, in trans isomer, you will find less steric hindrance, especially in case of the 2-butene, cis-2-butene and trans-2-butene. Cis-2-butene, if you study the example, and if you study the example of trans-2-butene, my dear students, you will find less steric hindrance into the trans isomer, whereas you will find more steric hindrance into the cis isomers. Now stability, less is the steric hindrance, more will be the stability, and more is the steric hindrance, less will be the stability. Now as there is less stability, less thermal stability is also found, and that means the solid, if it is available, that can melt easily, and that is why in case of solids, the less melting point is found comparatively to the trans isomers, but trans isomers are more stable, so they are more thermally stable, and that is why if the trans isomers are solid instead, they have got higher melting points compared to the cis isomers. Then, my dear students, the fifth point of difference, that cis isomers are more polar as compared to the trans isomers, and trans isomers are less polar or non-polar as compared to the cis isomers. So they have lower dipole moment or zero dipole moment, whereas the cis isomers will have the higher dipole moment mu. And that is what we can understand from the example of cis 2-butene and trans 2-butene. For trans 2-butene, my dear students, mu is equal to 0. But for cis 2-butene, my dear students, we have seen that mu is equal to 0.33 D. So this is how, my dear students, we can write at least 5 various points of difference between the cis isomers and trans isomers. Now, my dear students, I have a question to discuss with you. Let me discuss this question with you. The question says that draw cis and trans isomers of the following compounds. Also write their IUPAC names. So first one is CHCl double bond CHCl. You can see, my dear students, that I have drawn the cis isomers where both the Cl are at the same side of the double bond, and I have shown the trans isomers where both the Cls are at the opposite side of the double bond, and thus this compound is known as cis-1,2-dichloroethane and trans-1,2-dichloroethene. I'm sorry, my dear students, it's a mistake here. It should be ethene, ETHENE, and it is trans 1,2-dichloroethene. So this is how it goes. Then, my dear students, we have the next compound where we can have, C2H5 and CH3 groups are present. So when C2H5 groups are at the opposite side of the double bond, we will have trans 3,4-dimethyl hex 3-ene. And when both the CH3 and C2H5 are on the same side of the double bond, we will have cis 3,4-dimethyl hex 3-ene. So this is how, my dear students, we can answer this question. Now we have the next question to answer. The question says that which of the following compound will show cis-trans isomerism? So we are given the 4 questions, number 1, 2, 3 and 4. We are given the 4 various compounds. Now to answer this question, let us first revise the rule. Presence of identical group on both the carbons bonded with double bond to each other is necessary. So at least one group or one group of atom or one atom is required, which is common bonded to both the carbon which are doubly bonded to with each other. That is what it is, the necessary condition for the geometric isomerism or cis-trans isomerism. So my dear students, here if you look into the question number 1, which is CH3 twice C, means this carbon is bonded to 2 CH3 group and this carbon is bonded to hydrogen as well as C2H5 group. So both these carbon do not have anything which is common, which is bonded to both of them. Same way, my dear students, if you look into the second compound, this carbon is bonded to 2 hydrogen and this carbon is bonded to 2 bromine. So both these carbons are bonded with exactly different atoms and not with the same atoms. So that is what I have written, my dear students, that both in these compounds, there are no identical groups present on doubly bonded carbon. So these compounds do not show cis-trans isomerism. Now, my dear students, when we look into the other questions, in compound 3, and if you look at, you can see that C6H5CH double bond CH3. This hydrogen is common, which is available on both the carbon. So atom H is an identical atom bonded to both the doubly bonded carbons. Thus, it will show cis trans isomerism. And thus, you can see that, my dear students, that when both the hydrogens are at opposite, we will write it trans. When both the hydrogen at the same side of the double bond, we will write cis. And thus, we have the trans isomer as well as the cis isomer. Or we can say that the compound 3 shows the cis and trans isomerism. Then, my dear students, in case of the fourth compound, you can see that CH3CH double bond CClCH3, the group which is common is CH3. So group CH3 is bonded to both the carbon atom which are doubly bonded. So cis trans isomerism is possible. You can see, my dear students, that in case of the when CH3 and CH3 are present at the same side of the double bond, we can call it as a cis isomer. But when both the CH3 are present at the opposite side of double bond, we call it as a trans isomer. So this is how, my dear students, we have studied about the geometrical isomerism in alkenes, or cis and trans isomerism. Dear students, if there is any doubt, you can ask me.
Sir.
Please reply.
No doubt, sir.
Okay, then, my dear students, let's move forward and understand something very interesting. So, my dear students, the next topic that we want to study about is the types of organic reaction and mechanism. So now, my dear students, let us study about the uh, various types of organic reactions and their mechanism. So let's try to study about the various types of organic reactions and mechanism. Let me give you types of organic reactions, types of organic reactions, and mechanism. So this is the next topic that we want to study. There are various types of reactions, my dear students. So various types of reactions. Do you remember that you have studied in 10th standard the various types of reactions? You have already studied the various types of reaction into the 10th standard. The first one is called substitution reaction. The second one is called addition reaction. The third one is called elimination reaction. And the fourth one is called a rearrangement reaction. So these are the various types of reactions. Let us study about these reactions one by one. So first, my dear students, let us study about the substitution reaction. Can any of you tell me what is substitution reaction?
When carbon replaces hydrogen, form its molecule.
Very good. See, please write, if possible, with me, when an atom or group of atom is replaced by another atom or group of atom during organic reaction such reaction is called substitution reaction. So this is how, my dear students, we study about the substitution reaction. When an atom or group of atom is replaced by another atom or group of atom in an organic chemical reaction, such chemical reaction is known as the substitution reactions. Let us explain or let us understand the same with the example. So my dear students, if you have methane, this is your methane, and this methane is allowed to react with chlorine in the presence of light, especially the ultraviolet lights, or my dear students, we can use even heat. Then you may get CH3Cl and HCl. This is what you may get, and this kind of reaction is the example of substitution reaction. So this is the example of substitution reaction. So this is a wonderful example of substitution reaction. The same kind of reaction, you can even write it this way, that CH3Cl, again when it reacts with Cl2 in the presence of light, you may get CH2Cl2 plus HCl. Or this is even the example of the substitution reaction. Again, if CH2Cl2 reacts with Cl2 in the presence of light, you get CHCl3 and HCl. And again, my dear students, if CHCl3 reacts with Cl2, you will get CCl4 and HCl. So these all are the examples of substitution reaction. So my dear students, the topic today now for us is the organic types of organic reaction and mechanism. So let us understand the mechanism for this kind of reaction, which is known as the substitution reactions. Let us understand the mechanism. So let us understand this mechanism. My dear students, the various reaction what we have seen is known as the halogenation reaction also, or halogenation substitution reaction. So we will understand the mechanism for this halogenation substitution reactions. These reactions, the mechanism is, or the mechanism takes place into the various steps, my dear students. There are various steps involved in the mechanism. So the first step, my dear students, that we have is known as initiation. The first step that we can have is known as initiation. What happens during the initiation, my dear students, that the reaction is initiated by the homolysis of chlorine molecule. My dear students, I would like to ask you, can you please tell me what happens when the chlorine molecule is, or when the chlorine molecule undergo the homolysis? Any one of you, please? We have already studied about the homolysis. Can you please tell me what happens when the homolysis, or what are the products of homolysis? Any one of you? See, this H mu represents the light, and here the homolysis takes place. Any one of you please tell me what happens when there is homolysis or homolytic cleavage takes place? Bachcho, is there anyone who can answer this? What happens when there is homolysis takes place? You can see that there are two electrons, and due to the homolysis process, my dear students, one electron goes on this chlorine, another goes on the another chlorine, and finally we get two chlorine free radicals this way. So my dear students, here we can get chlorine free radicals due to the homolysis. Chlorine free radicals. So dear students, here we will get the chlorine free radicals due to the homolysis. Now my dear students, we are going to study the next step. In the next step, my dear student, we will have step 2. In this step 2, we call it as a propagation. So let us study what happens during the process of propagation, my dear students. That, in the propagation, first our methane, CH4, reacts with chlorine free radical, and that simply gives us the methyl free radical, and we get HCl. Now my dear students, this methyl free radical reacts with Cl2, and we get CH3Cl and chlorine free radical. This CH3Cl and chlorine free radical, they react with each other, my dear students, and gives us the CH2Cl free radical and HCl. This CH2Cl free radical, my dear students, comes in contact with Cl2, and it gives us CH2Cl2 and Cl free radical. This CH2Cl2 and Cl free radicals combines with each other, my dear students, and we get CH2 free radical and HCl. This CHCl2 free radical reacts with Cl2, my dear students, and we get CCl3 free radical and HCl. And this CCl3 free radical, my dear students, when it reacts to, sorry, I made a mistake. This CCl3 free radical, sorry, this CHCl2 free radical, when it reacts with Cl2, it gives us CCl3 free radical and CH2Cl2, we will get CHCl3. I made a mistake here. We get CHCl3, my dear students. Here we will get CHCl3 and Cl free radicals. When this CHCl3 reacts with Cl free radical, my dear students, we will get CCl3 free radical and HCl, and this CCl3 free radical, my dear students, when it reacts with Cl2, we will get CCl4 and Cl free radicals, which may be utilized. So you can see that during the propagation, the various free radicals and various compounds are formed during propagation. Various compounds. Can you name which compounds are being formed, my dear students? Which compounds are formed? You can see that CH3Cl, CH2Cl2, CHCl3 and CCl4. Various compounds like CH3Cl, which is known as chloromethane, CH2Cl2, which is known as dichloromethane, CHCl3, which is known as trichloromethane or chloroform, and CCl4, which is known as tetrachloromethane or carbon tetrachlorides are formed. But at the same time, some free radicals are also formed. Please remember, my dear students, that in the process or in the second step, which is known as the propagation, the various free radicals and various compounds are formed. Now, my dear students, in the next step, which is known as the step number 3, this third step is known as the termination step. In this termination step, my dear students, that various free radicals produced in the step 2, various free radicals produced in step 2 are, or they combine with each other. So to combine with each other. So let us see how do they combine with each other, my dear students. The Cl free radical combine with Cl free radical and gives us Cl2. Methyl free radical combines with methyl free radical and gives us ethane. And then, my dear students, the methyl free radical combine with chlorine free radical to gives us CH3Cl. So that is why, my dear students, we can say that during the substitution, during the halogenation of methane, or instead of halogenation, we can write chlorination. We get ethane as a byproduct. And that is what you can easily explain, that these two methyl fluoridical, when they combine with each other, we can get ethane as a product. So this is how, my dear students, we can explain about the halogenation or chlorination of methane. Now, if you have any doubt, you can ask me, my dear students. Do you have any doubt? You can ask me. बच्चों कुछ पूछना है? Hello, dear students.
No,
Do you want to ask me something?
no, sir.
Okay. Then, my dear students, we will study about the other types of reaction into the next period. So what the other type of reactions that we are going to study about are the addition reaction, elimination reaction, and rearrangement kind of reactions. So we will study them into the next period. I hope, my dear students, you have enjoyed your studies. Wish you happy learning.